Sometimes I ask this question to myself, how this got so special? And sometimes I ask this question to myself, why it got so famous? I laugh to myself a lot of times, and this intrigued thought comes to my mind often. And it always ends up with this question, this very famous question, why? So, this story is neither a motivation nor an inspiration. I would call it an experience. An experience I am fortunate enough to share with more than 35,000 people now. I think I relate to this topic pretty well among us because the success of Motamadi music is something that is not just for me or by me. It is shared by a lot of people, like the musicians of Motamadi music, the team members of Motamadi music, my parents, and very importantly, the performers of Motamadi music, the audience. In fact, they actually take the maximum share out of this success. But before talking about success, where it all started, to be very honest, many people ridiculed this idea. They thought this was very simple. They thought, okay, what's new? Or they even ridiculed the name Motamadi music. Even I thought this will really like it won't go that big, but I thought this is very good entertainment. Like you are going to be amongst people, you are going to be amongst with good music. What else can be more special? So a little rewind into my experience, a little rewind to January of 2018. I was this freelance musician who just got pulled out of two projects. I was jobless, I was frustrated, but still loving music. I think by the time, the only thing I sincerely loved was music. So I just called my friends and said, let's chill out. And my way of chilling out is to listen and play a lot of Raja Sir and Rahman Sir songs. I think I grew up with it. So I called them to my terrace. I said, let's jam music. And I said, there's a little change to it. And this time we'll call people and we will ask them to sing along with us. And immediately two questions popped up. One was, will they sing? Two was, whoa, what a stupid idea. Okay, I said, yeah, it can be stupid, but it is fun. It's about time I have some fun. And also, being a freelance musician who was jobless, I had pretty much nothing else to do. So, fun is good. So, I put up a Facebook post and asked random people to come to my home for this thing. And not to my surprise, nobody turned up. And only the main core members, 25 people of Motamadi music were there. And but to be very honest, that is really one of my most favorite shows of Motamadi music because it was like a family. We were jamming for around 4 hours, I guess, and it felt very cozy, it felt very comfortable. And this is where I want to put a small pause to the story, and I want to let you know, guys, how my belief system worked around this idea. I started as a non-musician. I'm the first musician in the family. I started learning music from 2012, I guess. But the major part of my learning comes from consumption of music, and the consumption majorly happened when I was a non-musician. I used to listen to a lot of songs. I grew up with songs, and that kind of gained the interest inside myself in music. So I strongly started to believe in an ideology. So I believe that the non-musicians celebrate music more than the musicians, and that's the core idea of Motamadi music. When people can go into their bathrooms and hum and have a nice bath, or wear their headphones and listen to a lot of songs all the time, why can't they perform? Why it needs a special ability to enjoy music? Why it needs a special ability to perform music? I mean, that is discipline, but other than that, it's entertainment. You can just own it. So this question constantly popped inside my mind, and the answer to that question was Motamadi music. So coming back to the story, I posted a lot of videos from the first session in social media, and the social media response was pretty good. So yeah, I thought, okay, let's do this again. I took a good 1.5 months gap, and then I announced the second session. And to my surprise, people came. Around 15 new people came, I guess. From 25, it turned to 40, and it was kind of fun to have random people at my Motamadi and to have a common wavelength and enjoying music. So yeah, it was super fun, and by now the surroundings of my area started to know about this thing. So they asked me to announce the next session. After again another 1.5 months, I announced the next session, and 70 people turned up. So by then I knew, okay, it's working, and this is what I'm going to do. We started to have shows in equal intervals, and we steadily started to show progress. For any progress, milestones are very important. And in the process of Motamodi Music, the first milestone happened in November of 2018. In November of 2018, I hosted this session exclusive for the songs of Kamal Haasan. I'm a huge Kamal Haasan sir fan. So I thought, okay, it's time to celebrate. And we had a ball of a session. Around 250 people came, I guess. And 1 week later, I got a tweet from the official handle of Kamal Haasan sir. And me being the fanboy, I started crying and all that. And the surprise didn't end there. He 2 days later, from Kamal sir's office, I got a call. Do you want to meet Kamal sir? I said, of course, yes. It was a great experience to meet him. But the important thing that happened was, after Kamal sir tweeted about Motamadi Music, media houses started to know what Motamadi Music was all about, and that's why I call it the first milestone. So this is where I want to put the second part to the story. According to my belief, the major part of the success of Motamadi Music comes from this decision of mine of not monetizing the idea for a longer time. I didn't monetize this idea for 1.5 years, I guess. I thought the real earning is to reach maximum people. I didn't even spend even a rupee on marketing. It was all organic crowd. I'm not saying this as a business tip, but for an idea to be really successful, it needs to reach people. And to reach people, it takes time. And I just saw the time as the investment here. And I just did whatever I can do. And I believe time will give you back something when you wait for it. And that's what happened with Motamadi Music. Coming back to the story, so we started performing with media houses, record labels, and I thought, okay, this is going fun, and this is it. Then I hosted a session on April 2019. I really got to know what's the real success behind something organic, about inclusivity, and how a small idea can be something very special among us. So I hosted this session, and 1,400 people came to my Motamadi. We couldn't host so many people, but still people started standing in the roads and streets and started to sing along with us. We even got a warning from the police department that day, because we kind of made a traffic jam for like 2 hours to 2.5 hours on that day. And by then I thought, okay, this is the end of Motamadi Music. We are done. And this was kind of special, and it got over. But little did I know that that was the start of something new. And now that I have made people sing, what's the next step? There was this intriguing thought that goes into my mind that kept me asking, where is that one place where audience have always been audience? Where can they never perform? Where a non-musician in particular can never perform? And the answer was auditoriums. So I thought, okay, auditoriums is the place where a non-musician can never be a performer. And then I thought, okay, that is the place right now we need to make all the people to perform. And that's how this particular idea progressed to the next stage. And that's when the real tasks begin too. So the very first question that popped was, will they pay? Because since we need to pay the auditoriums, we need to have a financial model inside, and this is when I am starting to monetize this idea. So this question came up: will they pay to come see the show? Will they pay to be a part of the show? And from our side, will me and my musicians, will we be able to be as good as the stage musicians and stage performers? So these are the real tasks. So I called up my event manager, and I told him, like, okay, this can be an absolute flop, or I can not even sell out even one ticket. So if you're up for this uncertainty, I'm up for this, I can do this show. So he said yes, and we kind of started it. And to our surprise, we sold out 2 shows that day. That is 1,000 people, and from then we knew that this is going to a different destination from where it started. Once that is done, the next real task came was to take this idea to a different city, because by then the idea got very famous and people from other cities wanted to have this show. And financially, will we be able to take this group to another city was a real question. And I would say I was lucky to have very good shows even in other cities. We now have 5 really strong bases: Chennai, Coimbatore, Bangalore, Madurai, and Trichy. Where if we go right now, I for sure knew that I can sell out shows there. So I would say I was lucky, or I would say the idea was lucky, or the idea was really good. So now we have performed 35 shows in 5 different cities, and I'm very happy that all the 35 shows right now are sold out shows. For me, it's a feat. For someone who was jobless and for someone who started this idea in a Mottamadi, it is definitely a feat. And now we are traveling internationally. Now, back to the core question, what made it very special? And now I know the answer. The answer is people. People made it very special. For them, the relatability factor in the show is pretty high. They grew up with music, they can perform, and they love the band. And Motamari music is altogether an experience. I usually don't call my band as a band because we don't perform alone. People perform along with us. We don't exhibit something, and we are not definitely not as perfect as the band musicians are. So Motamari music, as such, is definitely an experience. You want to come, you want to enjoy yourself, and most importantly, you're going to perform. And the next question I usually get is what's the longevity of it? I would say, to be very honest, I don't know because this particular idea has no age barrier to it, and there is actually nothing that obstructs it. I kind of see audience from 6 to 80, and we also write different formats to older people and exclusive for younger people, so that we kind of cater the energy they expect from us. That is exclusivity for each of them, so that makes the longevity more and more, I believe. So what's next is the usual question I get. Pre-pandemic, we had a lot of plans. We were kind of building a stage like Coke Studio or MTV Unplugged here, exclusive for the independent music scene. We wanted to host a lot of independent musicians, but unfortunately, because of the pandemic, it got postponed. So that is focus number one. And the next focus is majorly on hosting a lot of indigenous arts of India, majorly South India, along with us in the stages of Matamadi music. We want to share the limelight we have along with them because they deserve it more. I think this is our way of showing respect to the art and to the artist. And it's about time we kind of start to show more respect to the indigenous arts, because it is something that is among us, it is something that is us, it represents us. So it's about time we show the limelight to them. So this is what a small idea can do, and I am the example in front of you. So never ever ridicule or never ever discourage the smallest ideas inside your head. Celebrate the ideas, and you'll never know what it's going to give you back. Coming back to the core question, why it is so special, what got it so famous, and why it is so successful. I know my answer, but I'm just pushing this question towards you and to your perspective because I want to know what's your perspective about it. My answer for all these questions would be I'm just having real fun. Sometimes, as an artist, as an entertainer, and as a performer, that's all you need. You need to have audience in front of you. You want to make them smile, you want to make them cry, you want to make them show a lot of emotions, and I'm doing all that and I'm having fun. So I think I don't have any more questions inside my head. So maybe I am that someone who's amongst you who had a very small idea, and the idea got really successful again because of you. So I want to end this saying, this success is yours as much as it is mine.